Welcome aboard everyone, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. We are going through XinFin's XDC right now in this video quickly. Before we go into the chart, just want to make a couple of emphasis remarks on XDC network. This is one of our favourite bags here at Wells of Wall Street. Probably our biggest one actually combined between Steve and I. And something that we truly massively believe in, especially with the R3 quarter mechanism in the background. And of course, all the things we covered in the last few videos around XinFin XDC's application to financial and institutional world on both public and private levels. So absolutely phenomenal. Go check out our intro videos. We'll leave a link at the end of this one for extra info on that if you are interested. And also a most recent one where we're kind of like combining those and R3 quarters and the kind of link with energy and what we're achieving with XinFin moving forwards. And on that note of energy, guys, just on the screen here, just to emphasize, of course, this post is quite old now from May, but the emphasis is still correct and in fruition. Where it sits kind of energy-wise in between sort of Tesla and the big giants of Ethereum and Bitcoin. I mean, what you got to understand, to be fair, like I said, I don't massively like, in my opinion, the comparisons to the likes of Ethereum and Bitcoin, because pretty much anything and everything these days is kind of extremely competitive versus these two. You've got to remember these are the first two, or certainly one of the first few existing blockchains back then. I mean, even like, I know Energy Web Token, I think, was actually out before Ethereum's blockchain as well. But on this grand scale of things, is these two are what they are. They've got a substantial amount of projects built on them as well. And the BTC obviously itself trying to force itself into a kind of value of tokenomics, your replacement of gold, being digital gold essentially, is why that's so high. The mining capability of it, of course, is kind of something that's unavoidable really. It's been going on for years, and it doesn't intend to stop, I don't think, certainly until they amend their way of being able to mine. And of course there's a maximum supply. That was always the case, and I think it was something like 2100. The year 2100 is the year that apparently it might completely run out. So yeah, it's a bit of time, I think, for collating, but as you can imagine, the adoption period of digital currency it may be new. It's already been around for a few years, and in terms of adoption, mass adoption I'm talking about across the world, it's going to take quite a bit of time for that to fluctuate. So there's a bit of time on that. But XDC, of course, way down here in comparison. And that's why a lot of public and private institutions across the world are looking to use XinFin's technology, as well as with R3 Quarter, who are looking at bringing out their own potential stablecoin and a response to the sector in the private element as well. So XDC helps and XinFin helps with the public side. Are they going to be the key tokenomics for the private sector as well? It's going to be really interesting, and I'm keeping a firm eye on R3 Quarter all the time. And I will do another update video on that later this week anyway, just a kind of a full recap of what went on at QuarterCon a couple of weeks ago. We covered some of the key aspects, but really interested to push some more narratives out to you guys as to why we're so amazed and excited about this massive project. So guys, let's take a look at the chart quickly on XDC. Please smash that like button if you're finding this informative. So XDC, guys, I'll keep it sweet on this one. So we're trying to achieve this 12-cent support mechanism here. I think if we can get that over a day or two, we can start pushing up like properly past that 12-cent mark into the 13 and 14-cent area. But as you can see, we've had the tail off the correction, and let's just double check what that movement was, to be fair. From this point here on the 5th of October at around 14 cents, we've had a very nice correction tailing off down at the lower regions of 11.26 cents. So that's a good retracement as of around 20%. That's quite respectable. I was anticipating potentially up to 30%, so that's kind of arguably ticked that box. I'm still having this potential buy area in personally, because I still have a very small bag of USDT left from the sell-off that I did around the 19-cent mark, which was, can you believe it? It was all the way back here. How time has flown that we're already in middle of October. So taken some opportunities down here. I kept another bag in case we had another retracement, but let's see how that goes. So that's a buy area for me, potentially around that 11 cent mark. But I think ideally what we want to see, of course, if we look at the MACD down here, it's just completely disappeared off my screen. We're in this bearish momentum still, which is why I'm keeping it in there. But I do anticipate that XDC will eventually finally start tailing this red histogram off and start potentially moving into the green areas. As we hit those Q4 roadmark milestones for XDC, I think that's what's going to help us take us to these previous levels of around 14-15 cents. And I do anticipate hopefully by December that we will be targeting that previous all-time high around that sort of 19.5 cent mark and pushing up to price discovery mode, because this is an absolute gem, guys. Like I said, go and check our intro videos, you'll see why we think that. The RSI is down here currently at 46, so I still think that's a respectable position to be accumulating. Of course, like I said, I am waiting just for a small dip just in case, but I'm happy, to be honest, to be buying XDC all the way up to 50 cents in my opinion for that long-term run. Maybe 5 years time, 10 years time, this project's going to be absolutely gigantic. So I'm really excited about it, as are many of you out there, of course, as well. But for the short term, we've got a bit of a while to go for that 20 cent mark, so we've got a good 7 or 8 cents to go. And as I said, it's all about really the next 24-48 hours being around this 12 cent mark. Can we get the closure over there today? We tried to attack the 12.5 cent mark, kind of got relatively rejected here. So it's almost like we're trying to find this new support area, because we have had multitude of areas around this sort of 11 to 10 cent mark. I wouldn't say it's completely over, because as you can see, there's not many massive touch points. We had some here in July. We've gone straight through in August. And around the middle of September, we had a fluctuation in and out over a few days' time. And we've come back down to that area. We've had quite a bit of resistance at that level. So it's almost like 10 cents is trying to be ticked off 100%, which hopefully is done. But I think right now we're talking here about that sort of 11.5 to 12 cent mark trying to be supported here as well. So once we get that, I think we'll start tailing back up to the 12.5 as confidence builds in. Hopefully we'll get this switch over on the MACD in the next week and a half, and we'll start seeing some positive momentum for XDC. As I mentioned, with the milestones of the roadmap, it kind of interlaces with our theory here that we will get some organic traction in general, I think, as people get more and more confident and start, it's paydays, of course, coming up in a couple of weeks for most people, or certainly the last 2-3 weeks, so that has an impact as well. So I think you start seeing the momentum kick up organically, but as these milestones get announced and taken, I think that's what's going to take us towards sort of middle November to December, attacking that previous all-time high again. Like I said, which we saw back in the 21st of August. I can't believe how quickly this time has gone. So guys, as I mentioned, not financial advice, but I think this is still a great opportunity to be in an area of purchasing, irrespective of that dip down potentially by approximately 2 cents. But in my opinion, XDC has had a fantastic ride this year so far. Unfortunately, I haven't got any indicators, but what you can at least see from what I'm talking about, when I was getting most of XDC with Steve, it was quite early in the year. It was certainly around that sort of 3.5 to 4.5 cent mark. So we've had some great movement since then. As you can see, even from this point of, I think it was around the 22nd of July up to this point of the 21st of August that we just mentioned, 189%, which is absolutely fantastic. We've had the reduction down, and now we're just trying to piece together what's going on in that macro level, and that's what I think is occurring. We'll steady around here hopefully in the next couple of days and push up. If we get what we're seeing right now, which is it's kind of like a volume, it's almost like non-existent, we might come back down to here. That's why we put that area in, just to confirm why we've put that box there of interest. So around that sort of 11.5 cent all the way as a lower point, and slightly above that for the top. Current trading mark is just under 12 cents, so it could be that we hit that and we might even do it before the end of this video, who knows. But let's keep an eye on this, guys. I think we're very close to getting that switch over on the MACD in the coming weeks, but like I said, great opportunity to accumulate at these points, and it's going to be a giant. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Let us know in the comments below if you're holding XDC, what your aspiration is for the end of year for XDC in terms of a price point, and we will mark those in the chart, and whoever's closest will get a Ledger Nano X. And guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you and XDC hopefully on the moon very soon. Bye bye.